Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. It is Friday the 12th of July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the third time of trying to record this video, so I'm hoping that it will actually work this time round. For some reason, and I have no idea why, twice when I tried to record it yesterday, the recording software just stopped, Facebook just stopped. So we were sort of left high and dry. So I gave up with that on the basis if it hadn't worked twice, it probably wasn't going to work a third time, as the settings hadn't changed. So we are back here on a Friday to hopefully finalise this project. This week we have been using the County Birdhouse suite. This consists of a stamp set and some fabulous matching dies. The dies cut out obviously the basic birdhouse, but also all of these layers and the flowers and the little bird as well, and it has some nice sweet little sentiments. I've been sharing our videos this week with Sam from the Little Greenhouse Creates. Sam is a colleague and a team member, and we both happened to choose the County Birdhouse this week, so we decided to double up and share our projects across the board so that you have 5 videos in total this week, 3 from Sam and 2 from myself, and obviously it's actually going to be 3 from myself, or 5 if you include the 2 that stopped. So my project for this evening is this cute little birdhouse box. You can make it in lots of different forms. We actually created this at our class in a box for May 2024, and for this particular one I popped a hole in the top and a ribbon through so that this could be hanging from a banner. You could also put a base on it the same as the top, and that base then makes it into a box, and you could have sweets or treats or chocolates on the inside the box. Alternatively, you could punch some holes in the side and either add a battery operated tea light or some small battery lights on the inside and make it as a little Lumiere, whichever you prefer to do. So yesterday what I managed to do was I got as far as creating this piece here. So I'm not going to recreate this because you can look back through the videos, but all I did was I die cut the elements here out of different pieces of card. This is Coastal Cabana, and then what I did was I used one of our textured wood grain stamps to stamp over this and also these pieces at different angles to give it a little bit of interest. I'm hoping the camera will pick that up. And who do we have? Oh, hi Babsy, thanks for joining us. You made it, and you obviously got back home safe and sound as well, which we always like to hear. So with this particular one I just added the stamping. What you could also do is use an embossing folder if you have that, or cut it from some wood grain paper. We have some nice white wood grain paper that you can use and you can colour as well. So let's get cracking. Hi Teresa, thanks for joining us. So let's see if we can step this up and actually create the box. These are some of the cards I'd made previously. So this one with the little cut out birds from the Freezer bird papers. This was what we were doing at Coffee and Card this week, some great examples of that. And then this was another of our class projects. So let's crack on as quick as we can. So I have all the measurements and I will pop these in the YouTube description. It's a bit long, really long-winded for the Facebook description. So I will pop it in the YouTube upload. Okay, so we have this piece already. So this is the base. I popped some dimensionals on there in preparation, and I popped the little bird which I stamped and coloured in. And we did decide today that we needed a yellow for its beak. So I must remember to take a yellow pen with us for our Coffee and Card on Monday. Now you better shout if this all stops, as it has a habit of doing. Okay, let's do the box first. So I created this box to fit the actual size of the birdhouse. Okay, so I basically measured that and then calculated the box from that. So we're going to start off with one piece that is 28.5 centimeters. So we're just going to trim a little bit off here. So 28.5, and this is really just to make the calculations a bit easier. So a little bit short of the A4 piece. It's about 1.2 centimeters taken off, and the height is going to be 10.5, like so. So that's actually going to make 3 sides of our box, and then we want another piece. It's 10.5 high by 8.5, so that should also be 10.5 because that's half our A4 by 8.5, which is going to be the basically the width of our box, like so. Now we're going to score this long piece at 1.5 first. So I'm just going to do that there, and our light blade is our scoring blade. So 1.5, and then I'm going to turn it around because it's easier. 10 centimeters, like so. 18.5. So basically we've got panels that are each 8.5, and 27, and that will give us 3 panels and 2 flaps. Let's just take that away for a minute. I've just knocked my glue dots on the floor, so when I'm looking for those, you can tell me they're on the floor. So I'm just going to burnish these here. It's a shame I couldn't get it out of, for example, a 12 by 12, but at least it all comes out of a sheet of A4. So what's going to happen is that is going to be the front of our box, if you like, and then this panel will go on the back, and we will glue that together, and that is going to be our base box. Now what we can do is decorate the sides before we put it together. It's a lot easier to do that. These pieces are 8.2 by 10.2, and these are going to go onto the 3 sides, and again this is cut from the Country Woods papers, like so. So I'm just going to stick those down, makes it easier to do. I'm going to turn that one round, just that I've got a bit of a different set of panels going on. Okay, let's just stick those down first. So I hope, I can't get my words out today, I hope everybody has had a good week. Right, so I'm just centralising this so. I put that one there. Not that it really makes any difference because you're only going to see each panel one at a time. 2 and 3. And I do like all of the papers in this country wood set. They're all different woods or wood panels or peeling woods pieces. So this is the back. Now what you can do is have one of these panels white if you wanted to write a message on. I'm just going to keep these all the same. So, and the nice thing is there isn't a right and a wrong direction for this. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all we need to do to put this box together is to add this panel on there and then the same here. So hopefully, to make my life easier, I will put this piece on first. Don't add too much glue, you don't want it to seep everywhere. And when you're dealing with boxes and things like that, I recommend that you allow that to just dry for a little while. So 10-20 seconds allows that glue to go slightly tacky, and that means it will hold on much quicker. If you have a lot of glue and you put the card straight on, you have a loss of movement and it becomes a little bit more tricky to get it to hold in place. So I'm going to pop this layer on first, like so, and then just going to fold this down. There we go, like that. And there we have our box, like so. Now we need a lid for it. So I'm just going to create that. Now you do need another piece of card. Now you could have a contrasting piece of card, or you could cut a lid and then add some different paper. Entirely up to you. I'll just use the same colour, as I've got that to hand. So the lid is going to be 10.6 by 10.6 centimeters, and you could do a base at the same time if you wish. So let's do that. So first of all, I'm going to cut this 10.6. And it's going to be square, so 10.6, so it's got to be literally a millimetre bigger. You don't want it so big that it will just pop off all the time. And then we're going to score this at 1 centimetre on all 4 sides. If you wanted to make it with a bigger area here, then you can increase that, but also need to then increase the amount that you score. So 1 centimetre on all 4 sides. There we go. Obviously you could make this bigger. You can't make it much wider unless you change for 12 by 12 sheet, but even then you'll only get a little bit more. I suppose you could do 2 bigger panels, do it that way. That's all 4 sides. I'll do the same with this, which is going to be the bottom piece. And you can decorate the bottom, or you could leave the bottom just plain. Entirely up to you. Okay, that's all of the scoring I need to do. Let's just fold this over, just burnishing those edges, and then we're going just to snip the ends to get a nice box shape, or lid shape I should say. So this is what we're creating here, this piece here. And you can either thread ribbon or baker's twine through it if you want to hang. If you want it to be a box to put chocolates or something in, it would make a nice new home present with some nice chocolates inside, wouldn't it? But you could still have the ribbon through to take the lid of the box off if you wanted. Okay, got that one there. There we are. So let's just do a little bit of snipping. I do need to grab some scissors. Which are packed in my bag and I can't quite get to them, so let me just grab some other scissors. Don't really want big ones. I've come back from coffee and card, so my box, everything is packed in there. So rather than keep you waiting, this is a little overkill, the Stampin' Up ribbon scissors. I've just seen the small ones here. These are not as good as our own ones, but these will do. So I'm going to cut up to that score line and up to that score line, and then in the same direction on the other end, like so. And then that allows you to tuck that piece in on each corner, like so. I shouldn't have chosen early espresso for my card because it's a little bit more difficult for you to see, isn't it? Okay, what you can do with these corner pieces is just snip off the edge just on the tab to make it nice and tidy. So I've got a busy weekend coming up. So tomorrow morning I'm in Buckingham doing our Layers of Beauty class in our lovely venue at Buckingham Library. And then I'm working in the afternoon, and then I have lunch out on Sunday, so I guess I can't complain, can I? Alright, so same thing here with the tab. Cutting it in the same direction and then just trimming that little tab down a little bit. And we seem to be still live. Ah, that's a miracle. Keep going, Jenny. So cutting off just the edge of that tab, and then this one. Like so. Okay, so each one of these is going to go in, and by leaving this main piece straight you should get a nice crisp edge. I know you can't really see that because I chose early espresso card. Okay, so one's going to be the top, one will be the bottom, and I can I'll just decorate the top, I think. So let's add a bit of, I'll use the same, I might as well use the same paper, mightn't I? So I know this is going to be 8.4 by, I've got 8.4 by 8.3. I've no idea why, because I think it would be 8.4 by 8.4, but there we go. Let's have a look and see. Yes, I have no idea. Let's pop that on. That's going to be our top. And you can, if you have a hole punch that would reach that far over, you can use that to punch a hole in if you wish, or you can just pop a hole in with a pokey tool. And if you want to get it spot on accurately, then what you can do is just run this from corner to corner, assuming that was in roughly in the centre. Hope you can see that, yes. And do a little line. You could do this on the back, I guess, couldn't you? Same with this one. Like so. And where they intersect will be the middle, assuming your piece here is square or nearly square. Let's grab a pokey tool and I'm just going to pop a hole in there. If you've got a crocodile or something that's got a long reach, then you could use that. Okay, so there's my hole. I can rub out those pencil lines. My rubber's done a runner, so I'm going to leave them for the moment. And then thread something through. So let's just pop some glue on these tabs and put this together. Now what you can do is just test it out, like so, and then put your box on, and your box should be just very slightly smaller than the top. So before you go to all the trouble of gluing it, just sort of put it together and hold it, and then see that that is going to fit on the top, give or take. Okay, right, let's glue these pieces down. So the glue is just going to go on the tabs. So just a little scribble of glue. Lovely to see you, Babsy, this afternoon. I know it was fairly fleeting, but it was good to catch up with you even briefly. There's that one and that one. So all the measurements for this will be on the YouTube version of this, which will be uploaded this evening, all being well. Just put your fingers in the glue. Right, so you want to leave that for 10 seconds or so, just so that this has a chance to start going tacky, and you can tell that because it goes slightly clear. Okay, it will still remain sticky, but it will go clear. And then fold each one over. And if you want, you could use a clip. This is a bit overkill, this peg. Alright, but you could use a peg, you could use a paper clip, and just work your way around. Like so. But if you do leave it 5, 10, 15 seconds, it will grip much, much quicker. You see, this one is going almost clear. we go. So you can take those off like that. Going to do the same with this one. Oh, that's no trouble, Babsy. No trouble at all. It's my pleasure to help. So there's that one. This one. Three and four. As I said, if you want to make the depth of this bigger, then add twice the depth to your box. So if this was, you know, 1 centimetre, you wanted it 2, you want to add another one and another one. So you want to add 2 centimetres to the already measured box, and then score it at. So it would be an extra 4 centimetres than the size of your box. Okay, so that's going to be our base, and you could, if you want to, if this is going to have chocolates in, so you can see that fits really well, then what you could do is actually adhere that. So put some glue on this edge and then pop this in. So I think I'm going to do that. And obviously it doesn't have to have a birdhouse on it. You could do this with anything on the outside. I won't say an Easter bunny. You could do it with Christmas papers. And then obviously have some Christmas chocolates or something similar on the inside. So I'm going to pop that in there. Like so. And then just press that along each edge to hold it in place. Now if you had a very heavy gift, you might need to add, you know, another layer of card or something in the bottom of the box. So there we go, that's our base on there. And then for our lid here, we punched this hole, or pushed this hole in with the pokey tool. We just did a little diagonal line there, and then we've got a choice as to what we put in there. Chocolates sound good, I'd agree. So I've got some Coastal Cabana ribbon. I've got some of this lovely copper mesh. I don't know if you remember that, it's retired now, but you can spread this out. It makes a really interesting texture. You can leave it obviously as ribbon, but I think actually that would look quite nice. It's almost like, you know, a bit of the bird's nest, isn't it? Or I could use, I've got some crumb cake ribbon. I think I might use this because I think this would be interesting. So let's fold that back up again. And if I'm just going to do a loop, or you could do a ribbon. No, not a ribbon, a bow. That's the word. So I'm going to pop this through. Let's pop the lid on. And just poke this. Don't know how well it's going to go through because it's quite fine. There we go. Did the job. Like so. And then you could either tie a knot or a bow here to stop it going through. It depends on how big your aperture is that you've made and what ribbon you're using. Okay, so that's okay, but if it was if you pull too hard, potentially that could come out. So in that case what you could do is put a circle behind there and trim these pieces off, which is what I've done on here. My circle wasn't very big, as you can see, as I'd already stuck the ribbon down. So So if you wanted to hide all of that, you could do. And then I'm just going to spread this lovely, I wonder if they'll bring anything like this back. Be nice if we had this in red and green, or red and gold, or green and gold for Christmas, wouldn't it? It's most peculiar stuff. But there we go. I don't know whether that's worked or not. Don't know what you think. Perhaps it looks a bit weird. I don't know. There we go. That's our little top piece. And then what we need to do is attach our bird box to the side, which is here. So what you need to bear in mind is if you want to be able to remove this bottom piece, then you want your birdhouse to sit proud of that. If this is glued down and not going anywhere, you can actually have your bird box attached to that bottom piece there. And if you wanted to, you could put a dark piece behind that so that you don't see through. So let's see what I've got. I'm sure I've got some offcuts here. This might do. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is pop this on a spare piece, and you could use a blending brush as I am, or you could use ink directly onto there to make it darker, or you could use a blends pen. And just for speed, I'll use a blends pen. But you could just use a piece of early espresso card if you wanted to, and it doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to go behind. Oh, I could have used that side, look. Like so. Maybe I'll use that side. There we go. So thank you for being patient with me, especially anybody who's been put through the first two videos. Okay, so that's going to go behind there, and let me see, I can probably put another dimensional there and just suspend it behind these pieces, and then it will give the look of it being in the distance. So if I put another dimensional there, like so, I'm taking that one off, yes. Just going to put it on lightly, and then, I don't know if you can see, just cast a little bit of a shadow onto that. Okay, so this is our base. I haven't actually stuck that particularly well. Hello Brenda, good evening. I finally got, fingers crossed, to finish my little bird box. Now I put just one on here. There's been nothing to stop you having 4 different bird boxes, you know, sides, one on each one. That would be really cute. And because of the way I put this together, there are two joins, one here and one here, but it's not really obvious, especially because you've got these early espresso strips, so when it comes to the join it just looks like part of the paper. So you can just decide really which side you want your bird box to go onto. I'm going to put mine flat to the bottom so that I've got a little bit of height at the top to put the box lid. Don't worry, Brenda, I will also, as I said earlier, pop the measurements on the YouTube link, and then you've got those. I think that's all free. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. And doesn't really matter, you could sit and work out which side is best. I'm just going to put it on this side here. Actually, no I'm not. Just looking for, that's going to do it on this side because that's the opposite side to the join, that's the word. There we go. Cute. And here's our little lid going on the top, like so. There we go. Now we can add a bit of detail to this. So I've got this funky little piece here, or you could use some baker's twine. On this one I use some crumb cake ribbon, which is also what I've used for the top. So which shall I use? Shall I use the baker's twine? Yes, I think I will. And I'll do a double knot with that. So I'm just folding this in half, and to make it easier to know which piece to pull and which piece to cut, I've cut this open here like that, and I'm just going to do the rabbit's ears method. So a loop and a gap and a loop. Okay, hold the loops by the fold if you like, and then I'm going to fold this one over like so, and then wrap that, if I can get it all through those little hoops there, like so. So all I've done is used 2 strands of baker's twine to make it thicker and a little bit more interesting, and then you can just pull this in and these 2 in to get it basically the size that you want. There we go. Like that. Trim the edges. Obviously you can leave it on the spool if you want to. I have plenty of baker's twine, and you usually get so much of it that I never worry about using it. Okay, so let's pop this on here. If you wanted to mix it with some of that fun copper, you could do as well. I might do that. Which you could attach and then sort of spread out. So let's do that. I'm going to pop that on with a glue dot which I got out ready. Just glancing over my desk to see where I put it. So it is right here in front of me because I got it out 5 minutes before we started, and now I can't see it for love nor money. So let's just glue it. Anybody else do that? So just going to put a little bit of glue on that apex, and I'm just going to press this down and hold it, because I'm going to make that go all puffy in a minute. Okay, I'm going to hold it with this. Obviously a glue dot will hold it much quicker, but wet glue will work. You just have to be patient and not put your finger on it too much. Okay, let's add this layer. Going to add a little bit more glue on top, hopefully not removing that, and then I'm going to add my little double baker's twine bow onto there, which I can probably just press down. And then when that's dry, I will give it the same treatment as this one here, which is you just literally pull it apart to get that fun shape. If you want it a bit smaller, you can pull it back in from the back here, like so, however much you want really. So I'll give this the same treatment, but I won't pull it at this end. I'll pull it at this edge to show you, for anybody who didn't see it earlier, like so. And then once that's dried, I'll pull that up and it'll give it a little bit more interest. Okay, our lid is going to go on the top, like so. There it is, our finished little box, apart from that final little bit of decoration. Hi Sam, thanks for joining us. Just wrapping up, managed to get this sorted. So this is our little birdhouse box. We've got our birdhouse here, which I've cut with plain card, and then I've used the wood grain textured stamp to add to that, but you could use an embossing folder if you preferred, and I stamped that in crumb cake. I'm not sure how much of that you can actually see on the screen. And there we go. So it's got a base, it's got a lid with a little loop here, and this was the one I did for our class. It's withstood the test of time, which is quite impressive because it goes in and out of my coffee and card bag, so I'm surprised it's still actually in one piece. So this one is just a hanging ornament. You can punch circles in the side to make it into Lumiere and add little battery operated lights inside, or you can do it in this format as a little box. So the base is the same size as the top, and then you could pop chocolates into it. Oh bless you Brenda, that's very sweet of you. Yeah, I did cheat slightly today in that I started with this, but if you've been watching all of our videos this week, you'll have seen how the birdhouses are created, either by stamping and fussy cutting, which you could do with that, or using the dies to create the birdhouse. So that's our finally finished project. Let's bring that one up, and that little bird has been stamped and just popped behind, and this whole piece is on dimensionals. And then just to show you some of the other projects, so this is our coffee and card design that we did today. Some more great cards, and you will see that on Monday in Toaster as well, if you're able to come to that. And then here's a couple of other samples. This is using the wood grain paper, which I've used with a blending brush to turn it blue because it comes white to start with. And then finally this one here that features some of the flower die cuts, and that little set of birds is actually from the celebration papers that we had last year. My goodness, Free as a Bird it was called, and I just fussy cut those out. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm glad it was worth the wait, Brenda. And I will also be linking to Sam's video, because Sam did one from earlier this evening. So I will add that into my links here, and you'll be able to watch all 5 videos. So just hop between either Gemini Crafts or Little Greenhouse Creates, wherever you like to start, and you can see the whole bumper double up week. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a great weekend. I'm off to take my new arrival Woody up to the dog walking field to give him a good run around, as I've been fairly busy in and out today. And I look forward to catching up with you with our new stamp set of the week next week. And it's quite an unusual one in that it is a stamp set that has an embossing folder and a set of dies to go with it. So I hope you're joining me for that. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and do take care, look after yourselves, look after your loved ones, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.